And good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 43 of the Odyssey Hour. We are your hosts, the Odyssey Paranormal Society team. Sans Haley at the present moment, although she will be here shortly. So we'll just bring her
Technical
in.
difficulties.
Pretty much.
As always.
Yes, as always. So how is everybody doing?
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah.
Had a busy day of class today, and I'm happy it's over. So now I can just relax.
There you go. Relax with the team, your bros.
I was just gonna say my bros. You're my bros.
Your bros and sis. I suppose.
Yeah, my family.
There you go. Your family away from your family.
Uh-huh.
Anybody have anything to report? I mean, anything special going on?
It's the first day of fall.
Yeah, it's the first day of fall. That's exciting.
Which I learned 10 minutes ago.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's
I should
pretty
make
much
some
it.
apple cider. That sounds good. Some
I'm having
spiced
some
apple
right now.
cider.
It's delicious. Or well, no, apple cinnamon tea. I don't know. It tastes similar. It's good.
Yeah, I'm talking about cider, not tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about apple juice with warming spices in it.
It's so
That's
good.
what I'm talking about. I bought some tickets a couple days ago to go to Sweden to see my partner over the holidays.
Nice.
Exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. So while we're not going to wait for Haley, but so I wanted to go first just to make sure I got my questioning because it's very important.
Okay.
As Lauren knows.
Mhm.
But since she's not here but coming, somebody else can go first and I will go second.
How about
I can
Scott
go.
goes first?
Oh, yeah,
Scott goes first this
Scott.
time.
Yeah.
Scott never goes. Yeah, there we go. Wait. And a good evening to Miss Lenz.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm sorry about my computer.
A candle.
No, that's all right.
Haley.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
First day of fall is the first day of spooky Lens.
Exactly. This is the fall theme.
Hey, that's not bad. I might do something like that next week. Like I said, I only found out it was first day of fall 10 minutes ago, so it was kind of hard to change my decor in that space of time. But Scott, you were about to ask the first question of the night.
Was I?
Weren't
Yes.
you? Wasn't that what everybody was voted you in for?
We volunteered you for you.
Okay. Well, I guess the question is, have you ever dreamed about people before meeting them or dreamed about places before going there?
I can answer that question, but I will wait. Unless nobody else knows.
Nothing that I can recall, but I do tend to get deja vu a lot. Like I will definitely go in places and like get the like overwhelming feeling that I've been there before, which is very weird. Oh, bye.
Oh.
Bye, Haley.
She'll be back.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's anything paranormal or supernatural, but I think I don't really know how often other people get deja vu, and I don't get it like overly often, but when I do get it, it's just like it's very uncanny, which obviously that's what deja vu is. But yeah, so no, I am not a very vivid dreamer either. I would say I have a dream that I like really remember probably once a month. So a lot of the times I do not remember what I dream when I wake up.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I can say the exact opposite for me. I'm a very vivid dreamer. And for some reason, my nap dreams are more vivid than my like actual like sleep time dreams. I don't know if that's normal, but I probably wake up and remember very vividly what my dream is, probably 3 to 4 times a week. And I write it down because Ken told me to write it down. So now I'm writing it down. But yeah, I would say, like Sam said, I get deja vu pretty frequently. I would say once every month or two, I would get it just at random points throughout my day. But I don't know if I've ever dreamt of someone before I met them or like a place before I've actually like physically been there. I don't know. Maybe that's coming. Who knows? We're seeing where it goes with this development thing that I'm doing. So there's Haley.
I'm trying to join from my phone.
Well, that'll probably work.
It's already a lot better. It's already a lot better.
This is a different perspective too.
My phone's at like 30% though.
So you're going to be gone in about 20 minutes.
Probably less. It's also an old phone.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, did you hear Scott's question?
No.
Okay. So, Scott, why don't you go ahead and ask it again?
Have you ever dreamed about people before meeting them or dreamed about places before going there?
Am I the only one who hasn't answered?
I haven't answered. So do you want me to go first?
I don't think I've dreamed about places before going there or dreamed about people before meeting them, but because
there's your answer.
Supposed to be a thing that like your brain can't come up with faces, so you can't dream about people that you don't know. Or is that just like one of those like fake facts?
That is something
I've definitely heard that before, though.
That is something that Josie always said because she was a big dream researcher or whatever. But before I guess I get into my answer because my answer is a little different. Lauren, I kind of cut you off. Were you done?
Yeah, that was it. That was
okay. And Haley, I don't want to stop you. I was just kind of answering your.
No, I don't think there's much else to it. I've been having weird dreams lately, but nothing where I don't know the people. That's my addition. Oh, now we're at 20%.
What?
I told you.
It's been 2 minutes.
I know.
Well, while I'm answering, why don't you go get your charger?
Okay, hold on. If I take my headphones out, is it going to have an icky echo?
Why don't you just mute yourself and then do it?
Is it echoing?
Nope. So far, so good. So we're good.
Okay.
Charger time. Go.
You answer.
Okay, I am. All right. So the answer for me is yes and yes. So I have what I have called, I mean, I'm sure this is the actual like term for it, but I have a lot, and I don't realize it, what I call psychic dreams, where I don't understand what the hell is going on. It means nothing to me at the time. I'll be doing some mundane task and sitting at a desk or whatever, and people will come in and I'll chat with them, and it'll always be like work, but I'll have no idea what the place is. I've never seen it before. I've never been there. I don't know anybody that's coming to talk to me, so I just always chalk it up to some weird ass dream that means nothing. My imagination running wild. Then 3, 4, 5 years later, all of a sudden I'll be sitting at a desk and it'll hit me that like this is something that I saw in a dream way back beyond. And I'd already been working there or at this place many times. But for whatever reason, it's this one specific point in time that brings me back to whatever I was dreaming. That is annoying. Whoever is doing that.
Yeah, I don't know what that noise is.
I think we're
Is it
being
just, like,
bugged by
static?
aliens.
What is that?
It sounds like alien speak. You know, that
No,
kind of thing.
it sounds like, almost like a keyboard.
Well, nobody's typing.
No,
No.
Okay, well, I will try to keep my focus.
CIA agent, can you butt out of the call, please?
No shit.
We're trying to have a show about conspiracy theories here. You shouldn't be here.
So, yeah, you know what? Haley, mute yourself really quick. All right, let's see if it comes back. Because if it doesn't, it's Haley. And it might be your microphone banging against your sweatshirt, maybe. Yeah, I'm not hearing it anymore. So it's definitely Haley's fault.
Well,
And now
Yeah, it's
back.
definitely your phone.
I
Yeah.
don't have
All right.
microphone to bang against anything.
Have you not put your buds in yet?
I can't,
Oh,
because iPhones have one hole.
I hate Apple
Nope.
so much. I hate
not,
Apple.
Not going that far. Not going that place.
I have Bluetooth.
It's true.
I have Bluetooth headphones.
Yes.
They work, so they're issues.
All
I
right.
fucking hate you, Apple.
Yeah, Apple sucks. But
Steve Jobs is rolling in his fucking grave.
As you should be.
So yeah, I've kind of put it as, you know, we almost we talk about how energy doesn't know. Holy crap. That was a huge echo. All right. I think it's been solved now. Okay, so
Okay, can you hear me?
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
thank God.
we're-
That was
we're-
what I was worried about.
We're good.
All right. I'm in.
Technical difficulties. All right. So you know how we always say how energy knows no bounds. It can go forward in time, go back in time. The damn clicking is still there, but that's okay. We can deal with it. But I almost think that and somehow, no idea why or how, I'm going forward while I sleep and kind of inhabiting myself in the future. And I think that what I feel, this is the deja vu part of it, I'm somehow realizing when that happens that like I'm there with me. You know, like I have merged the two and then I'm gone, obviously, once it goes. I have no proof of that. It's just kind of a out there theory. It's the only thing to me that makes sense as to why it happens. And why it happens so flippin' far. Like, Lauren, you're talking about, you know, it happens a couple times a month or something like that. And for me, it's like 3-4 years down the road where I couldn't even possibly, you know, just remember out of the blue about some dream I had years prior. And it just means nothing to me. So it's an interesting thing. But yeah, it happens. I have no idea what means what when. So, Scott, what about you? I'm assuming you probably do.
Yeah, I used to do it a lot, but not so much anymore. And I don't know why it's not doing it anymore. But
Maybe you don't have that much life left.
yeah, maybe not.
Oh, don't give me that look, everybody. You
Not
knew it was
funny.
coming.
Not
Oh,
funny.
you chuckled a little bit. It was a little funny. Sorry, Scott. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't know what else to say. I mean,
Oh,
it used to happen a lot. Used to do that a lot, constantly. But it's few and far between now.
well, do you think that, you know, I guess my theory holds any weight? I mean, do you think that deja vu is somehow the reminder or whatever that we in some way have actually been there or kind of moved forward unbeknownst to us that that's what we were doing. And we just kind of merged at that point in time.
In a manner of speaking, yeah. There's a principle in physics. They got a new name for it now. But back in the 1970s, it was called retrocausation, and it says that time moves backward as well as forwards, and therefore it is possible for an effect to precede its cause. So something that happens now could be caused by something that happens a week from now.
Well, son of a donkey.
You just blew my fucking mind, Scott. I'm not even kidding. I had no idea that was a principle.
Well, and it almost is kind of a theory as well in the paranormal, because there's especially at Farrar, there's Will. You know, you all met Will. You know, when we had gone there, and I think he even told the story, didn't he, about John Tenney?
He did.
Right. So, I mean, why not? I mean, is his spirit in the future haunting him right now in the past? Who knows? I have no idea. But I have obviously never encountered that entity there, no matter how much I sat on the steps and looked down the hallway. But yeah, it's an interesting theory. I don't know how the hell we would ever prove it, but it is what it is. Does anybody else have anything to add for this one?
I have a follow-up question for everybody, kind of on the topic of dreams. Do you believe that most dreams, at least the ones that you remember, have some sort of symbolism attached to them most of the time? Or do you just think they're just some random thing that your subconscious just made up or something like that?
For me, it's so hard to tell, because even when I do remember my dream, I usually don't remember it come like an hour later, you know? So like, I don't know. I'm just not the best person to talk about dreams with, because I never ever dream. And when I do, it always affects me, you know, when I have a dream. And usually when I remember them, they're like unsettling dreams, not like bad dreams, but they're just kind of weird and unsettling. And then I forget about them and I'm fine again. So for me, no.
Anybody else?
Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we do dream in symbols, but I think the symbols come from us, that we create them. So what I dream, the symbols that I dream in are not going to be the same as like what Haley dreams or what Lauren dreams. No, as the symbol comes from me, and it's what it means to me. So the Freudian interpretations and all the dream dictionaries and everything, I don't believe in those, because the dream comes from my mind, it comes from me, so it's what it means to me. So I am the only one that can possibly interpret it, really.
That's a very good
I
point.
like what Scott said, definitely. Like, because like what my dream symbolizes only really makes sense to me. Like, I find a lot of my dreams are my brain just trying to process my own anxieties or thoughts or whatever in some weird, outlandish, dramatic way. But then, like, when I think about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what my brain is trying to process, even if it's like not necessarily something that is real. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, the dreams that I do remember, I don't necessarily think that any of them are symbolic, as opposed to like what you would see in these dream books. Like if you're falling, it's supposed to mean this. And I'm assuming that that's what you mean, Lauren? That if you see certain things, they're supposed to mean things to you?
Yeah, and kind of like what Scott was saying, I just kind of thought along the lines of what it would mean to you. Like if you saw something coincide, like, oh, I saw that like in my dream and now I understand why I saw that kind of thing. Like some symbolism that transfers into your real like conscious life.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well.
like I mean, I definitely have dreams that are very, very important. Like, but they're not symbolic. They are pretty much straightforward. I don't think that they're necessarily coming from my mind. Like they have a very significant message to them, and it's pretty straightforward. So I guess maybe I'm lucky in that sense, where I don't necessarily like anything that needs to be told to me in a dream is just direct. It's not like I'm going to show you this and then you need to figure this out. Most of them have to include my mother, and they're probably the most vivid dreams that I have. And I don't necessarily even consider them dreams as opposed to like legitimate visitations and like for a very pointed and direct purpose. Not just, hi son, how are ya? Like she's there for a reason, and I understand what that reason is. So yeah, but what about you? I mean, does that happen to you?
Yeah, especially around points of high energy in like, well, high positive or negative energy in my life. I've noticed like I have like really vivid dreams that specifically like I can very clearly see a connection between what I've seen in my dreams and what is happening in my real life, both before and after whatever event is causing the high energy, high stress, whatever you have. So yeah, I firmly believe that my dreams to me are very symbolic. Again, like Scott said, it might not mean anything to anybody else, but I see a connection and that makes sense to me, because I think that's just how my mind works. Is I like to see symbols, and that just, it gives things more meaning to me. Like in English class, I freaking loved reading books for the symbolism, and I could like make those connections like no other. That was like, it just makes sense to me. It's how my mind works. So maybe that's just me, and maybe they don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but I've seen like very vivid dreams that I can very clearly see connections to my real life through those dreams. So I believe that my dreams are very symbolic. So I try to pay more attention to them.
Well, I think dreams are probably very much self-actualization. As Haley said, it's your mind trying to work through whatever it is that is going on at that time. And I think that the dreams reflect how you best work that out. You deal with symbolism, whereas I'm obviously far more like, I don't care about symbolism. Just give me the damn message. Let you just tell me what I need to know, and then I can deal with it then. So I think that that's probably a lot of what dreams do, especially those. If there is a message, I think they're going to come to us the best way we're going to be able to interpret them. No, that's a good follow-up question, though. That's a good question in general. Way to go, Scott.
And I agree with you, Mike. We do get visitations from the spirit world in our dreams. That happens to me quite often. And another thing in my dreams, I have lucid dreaming, so that I am conscious during my dreams. And if a dream starts turning into a nightmare, I say, nope, I'm changing this dream right now, and I can change the dream. So there's that too.
Yeah, I've never been able to do that. If I become conscious during a dream, and that has happened, I kind of let it run. But then as soon as it turns into something that I don't particularly want or don't understand, or I'm tired of it, I just wake myself up. So I've never learned how to change dreams. But maybe at one point in time I will. But that's a good It's obviously a good thing to have. So, all right. Anything left? Because dreams is a good topic. Okay. So I'm going to go now. So, okay. And of course, the one episode that I'm going to talk about and ask about for you guys is a disagreement between Dave and myself. This is the one episode that he's a part of. And of course, Haley leaves right as I'm about to ask.
Her phone probably died.
More than likely. But she wouldn't have got her charger.
Probably burning through the battery faster, it can replenish it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Apple products can do that.
Yeah, they can. They're terrible.
Fuck you, Apple.
Fucking moron.
Fucking idiots.
Okay. Well, I'll give it to you guys. If Haley comes back, great. I can repeat it really quick. So, all right. So Dave's going to know what I'm talking about here. When
Dave's here. Okay.
Dave is here.
Okay.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
He is watching, and so he must have had that sixth sense that I'm going to be mentioning something that involves a disagreement between the two of us. So this has happened now twice on the Odyssey files, and it's a discussion of what do you do as an investigator when you sweet. Welcome back, Haley.
Hi.
It's great. I stalled just long enough so I can start my question and not really repeat myself.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. So what do you do as paranormal investigators when you see whether it's shown to you in person on somebody's phone or video camera, whatever, or on social media? What?
I don't want to answer this question.
I don't care. You don't even know what it is yet. So set it
No,
up.
I do.
I'm sure you do, because we've probably all talked about it at some point in time. But what do you do when somebody posts their evidence that you know is misidentified or just wrong, or they're saying something is there when it obviously is not? Do you leave it alone and let them have their experience and let them have this? Or do you say something? Do you say, those aren't orbs, those are dust, that's not a figure in the window, that's matrixing, that's not a blob, in the doorway, that's a dog? Do you point it out, or do you let them have their moment and you move on to something else?
As much as I'd like to say I do B, answer B to that, which is where I tell them that ain't what that is. I think at the convention, when someone showed me something, I would more lean towards, I'd just go, oh yeah, okay, cool. Let them move on with their life, because it is kind of awkward to tell someone like that what they're seeing isn't there, even though like I'm probably right, because I'm usually right. I'm a Virgo,
And
so
you're humble too.
I'm also very humble about it.
I said almost that exact same line this afternoon.
Yeah. So I think I would like to be the type of person who points out to someone that I don't think that that's actually something, but like I don't know how to do it. Is my answer, and my honest answer. Because I think that maybe pointing out that something isn't what it is could help the person to improve as an investigator.
But see, that's never how they take it. That's
Right.
almost never how they take it. That's my
Right.
thing, is that in a perfect world, investigators would take constructive criticism on, me saying that I don't think that's what you think it is not me saying that you're a bad investigator. There are plenty of people that I'm sure there's evidence that we think is something that we've taken that is probably bullshit because we're human and we make mistakes, and this is a very unstandardized field with different variables every time we do an investigation. So, yeah, it's so hard to criticize people because, especially in this field, when you criticize somebody else's evidence, they're just going to get angry at you and they're just going to get mad. And some people can deal with that and some people can't. And I can't deal with that. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. So let them have their fun, unless they're parading around like some paranormal TV show trying to show evidence that's obviously faked or is not true. If they have a platform and are influencing a lot of people, then, and of course, when you're on a TV show like that, it's kind of disconnected. You're not face to face with them at a convention, although nowadays I might be. So yeah, that's kind of my stance on it. More often than not, I'm not going to be the one that points it out because I'm too much of a people pleaser.
Now, I do want to point out though that this question is not aimed at other paranormal investigators. You have plenty of people who have absolutely no idea at all what they're doing. That they post their Ring camera, and they think a dog walking by is a chupacabra, that sort of thing because it looks weird. I'm talking about like anything that is posted. We always have stuff, people coming up that are not investigators, but they're like, "Hey, I caught this on an event that I was on. What do you think?" That sort of thing. So it doesn't just end at investigator.
I need to just start asking, like, do you want my professional opinion, or do you want my opinion as a colleague, or as like a friend? Because those are different. Like,
I don't know why they would be.
Asking that.
You're saying, so if they were like, I would like your friendly opinion, you'd be like, that's a great piece. But your professional opinion is that's dust.
No, I would not be. That's a great piece of evidence. I would smile and nod. That's what I would do.
Oh, cool.
That's what Haley and I did. We were just like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you hit him with the wow, that's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. No, I would never go as far as saying that piece of dust is amazing. I'm just like, yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lauren, what about you today?
I think you can all attest this. I am a very non-confrontational person, and
Yeah.
I don't like making people upset. So if they asked for my opinion, I'd be like, oh, maybe it's dust, maybe it's this or that. Have you considered it might be this? I feel like if somebody asked for my opinion, I would let them know, but very nicely, and not say, oh, that's not what it is. Just say, have you considered it might be this or this or this, or have you ruled out that it couldn't be this or whatever it is? Which I think, that's a valuable skill to have as an investigator, is to be able to rule out what it is and what it isn't, kind of thing, if that makes sense. I'm probably not saying that the right way, but you know what I mean. Like it's good analytical skills to have, to say, I know it. Yeah, exactly. So that's probably the path I would go down. I am not going to be just on the internet searching every single piece of evidence I could find and just comment, that's not what it is, or if somebody comes to me and asks me, I'll nicely say, maybe it's this, but I'm not going to be like, no, that's not what it is. You didn't have an experience, and be mean, because maybe it was a personal experience, and maybe it meant a lot more to that person than we really know, because we obviously weren't there. So there could have been other factors, who knows what else going on. So we only have a little glimpse of what they believe their experience was. We don't have the whole thing.
Now let me just say really quick, because I know that there's a great harshness in the way I ask the question. But I do not mean, and I think this is where people get off, because I'm very intense about this in general, and you guys all know this, everybody knows this, I make no qualms about it. But I'm not talking about like going out and just being a douche to these people and just being like, why are you such moron? Like, I know I say that, but if it was a legitimate answer and I'm trying to get it across, I'm with you. I think it's this. You know, I don't try to actually put people down if I'm trying to make a point, because then they're not going to listen to the goddamn word I say, nor should they. When I do it like that. So, I mean, obviously you be respectful. Obviously you try to just point it out in a nice way. But the question is, do you point it out? So, Scott, with that said, well, how about you?
I used to point it out. And,
Which means something changed.
well, yeah, people, no matter how nice you are about it, some people take it as being attacked.
Yeah, a personal attack on
Personal offense. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you're trying to be nice about it. But I even had one person unfriend me on Facebook and never speak to me again because I said something they were wrong about Ouija boards.
Yes.
Well,
so I don't do it anymore because it's just, or I rarely do it anymore because people take it the wrong way and they're, oh, you're one of those debunkers. And
yeah, why are you being a hater? Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, and they just take everything as a negative attack instead of just a positive criticism, you know. And so I stopped doing it.
That's fair. So, just one quick, because I want to address this, because Mr. Soyren thinks that he's making a great point here, which he's not. So here's my answer to this, and bringing up the fairy video. Nobody has ever told me that is wrong. Nobody has ever looked at the fairy video and said there's nothing there, or that's not something. So I think you're a little off on your comparison there, David. Just saying. All right. Anyway, but
didn't know this was WWE SmackDown.
Elbow off the top turnbuckle. So, there was a guy who always goes to the Paracons, and thanks for the attack. It's not an attack, Dave. Just saying, you chose the wrong comparison. But the last year that it was at Monoman, so obviously not Unity, that happened in July, but 2018 in Monoman, he came up to the table and he had a video of an SLS camera that he had made. So he had made the SLS. And he had captured some video from when he was at the Palmer house. And he wanted my opinion on it. He wanted to show it to me. And I pointed out, and you guys know how I feel about the SLS, that it's very, very easy to misidentify, or to take something that is just the camera doing its thing and not something paranormal. And this was about as flat out obvious as it was just the camera following the shapes of the room. I mean, the whole body went up and then turned right along the ductwork that was in the ceiling. I mean, it was clear. I mean, it didn't even go outside of the ductwork. And I told him this. I was just like, I think what you're seeing, and I pointed it out. And I was nice. It was very respectful. He didn't like that very much. I mean, he wasn't mean, or he didn't be like, no, that's not it. But I saw him like an hour later showing it to somebody else. So he didn't care what I said at all because I didn't agree with him. And I understand that. But at least you made, or I made, I should say, in that exact instance, but I mean in general, at least we made the effort. to just be, hey, I think this is it. I remember, and I think Dave knows this one as well. Rebecca, who she still runs Parax, but she posted a photo on purpose. And it was a house. It had a screened window in it, and there was something in the window. And she posted it, and she's like, what do you guys think of this? At least half the people said it was a demon. And it was literally a picture of her dog. Like, you could see her German Shepherd or whatever dog it was that was in the window. But because she just said, what do you guys think of this? Like, people just went nuts. And they started talking about how it was a demon. They could see the horns. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh my God, people. But could you imagine what would happen then? The damage that could be done if somebody, I think, Sam, it was you who said if somebody who has some sort of influence ability were to post something like that and say, look at this demon that I caught. I mean, if nobody is going to just point it out respectfully, or as Dave put, compassionately, like, what are we doing? Are we not enabling crap, evidence out there in the public?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I was expecting some answer to that one, but
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. It's easier said than done. I think
know it is.
And
and
it's
quite
something
frankly,
that will take practice for a lot of us, I think.
And I'm right there with you, Scott. Like, I see crap evidence all the time, and I just hang my head in shame, shake my head, and move on past. I guess if I'm asked my opinion, I'm going to give it, but otherwise, yeah, I guess I let it go too, just because I do not trust that person is going to listen to anything that I say. And yeah, I guess I don't particularly want to deal with the drama. And I'm sure that's probably why you stopped, right, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why you don't, Sam? Well,
yeah, like in Scott's case, like, if you're going to lose friends over it, like, what's the fucking point? Is this really the hill you're going to die on? If just this stupid video evidence or whatever, like, so it's really a pick your battle sort of situation, I think. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, in an ideal world, obviously my opinion is that us as paranormal investigators, it's our responsibility to call out the bullshit, to put it crudely, but to put it nicely, critique other people's work, and hold people accountable to, please acknowledge that your brain can make shit up. And if not everybody agrees, or if I'll change that to see, you can't even say that because it's all opinion, right? It's all conjecture. So you just have to be open to criticism, that, like, some people aren't going to think that what you caught is evidence, especially if it's an EVP or something like that, where people that haven't listened to a lot of EVPs, of course, people who weren't there, they could just easily say, well, that was just somebody there talking. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't prove that wasn't somebody talking. So it's that whole battle, that very slippery slope.
Agreed. All right. Who would like to go next?
I can go. So I have a question about aliens, and not just because I promoted Chuck Zukowski today on our Instagram, but I was thinking about it. And I would like to know everybody's opinion on the theory that if aliens do come visit us, just going on the assumption for now for this question that they do, why would they gravitate towards areas of like nuclear power plants or like places of large energy, like production and like, you know what I mean? Like there've been a lot of reports of UFOs being spotted around places like nuclear power plants, like those like places that harness energy in some capacity that give off that kind of field. Why do you believe aliens have been spotted there? Maybe disproportionately, more proportion, like a lot more? Are they just being reported more? Like what are your opinions on aliens visiting areas of large natural power? Yeah, like Dave said, volcanoes and stuff like that. It's a very broad question, and I'm sure I didn't phrase it right, but you guys know what I was trying to say, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it's definitely possible that just based on I think most of those places are places that people look at a lot and people photograph a lot. Especially if it's a volcano, it's probably going to be a tourist destination, right? So, you know, I believe that UFOs exist, but I don't believe as of yet that UFOs are strictly extraterrestrial, right? So, but going off what your question was of if they are visiting Earth, why are they attracted there? I guess you could make the theory that these places that output energy, I don't know, maybe it's a power source for them. Maybe they're harnessing that energy for their ships because who knows what they use for fuel, right? But my other more logical one is that I think just a disproportionate amount of people are reporting UFOs next to those places because they get looked at more, they get photographed more, they get visited more because they're all landmarks. They're all, places that people go. Usually power plants are very near to, a town, a city. Volcanoes are a tourist destination. Maybe you could include like a dam or like a hydropower plant in that as well. People visit those, so I think that's my more logical answer for that question.
Haley, Scott?
I don't know, I guess, why they would go to those places. Because to me, like, just going and standing at a power plant doesn't sound like a great time. I don't know that I'd call a power plant, like, a popular attraction, to push back against Sam slightly. Sorry, bud. Or a volcano. Those are a little dangerous. Okay. But I should really think about what my answer actually is before I start talking one of these days. Because Sam's really good at like babbling and having an answer, and I'm not at all.
I'm a verbal processor. I think as I talk.
I don't.
I think after I talk.
I don't do either of those things at all.
Which is why it's gotten me in a lot of trouble, Sam.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I had an idea.
And now it's
somebody else go.
Yeah,
Scott, how about you? While Haley is thinking about her answer, how about you go?
Gotta take notes.
Okay.
Haley just comes in here, bashes my fucking theory, and then just bows out. Just like, I'm gone.
That's it.
Yeah, what Sam said. I think there's a lot of science fiction movies, even some Star Trek episodes. The ships were hanging out around there to gather, to collect energy to revitalize their batteries or whatever. That's one possibility. There's another possibility is that they are evaluating, hanging out around nuclear plants and stuff to evaluate our progress, to see what we're capable of and or not capable of. And if it's time for them to start worrying about us coming into space, to see if our power sources are still so primitive they don't need to worry about it. Those are a couple of possibilities. But, I don't know.
Always love it when always love it when people go on, a 5-minute answer and then end it with, I don't know.
None of us know. Like that should just be the
Yeah.
footnote of every episode. We do not know what we're talking about.
No, that is not going to be the footnote of every episode. So, I definitely agree with you, Scott. I think each of these locations has a different reason. It's not all the same. I think it's probably, the nuclear power plants, our missile silos, NASA and our space program. I think that you see them a lot around there because, as Scott said, they're evaluating what we are doing, and if we are, we're getting too big for our britches. We're trying to do things that we do not or should not be doing yet, for whatever our reason. I can't remember if it was on this show or what show it was recently. Maybe it was this show where I brought up the whole, us sending, a satellite into orbit, $5 billion, $50 million satellite, and one thing goes wrong and it has to come back to Earth. And, somehow they didn't check it, or it was wrong, and it completely sabotaged the whole entire thing. I definitely think that we are being observed. We are being supervised in some fashion. I honestly don't think I've ever even heard of UFOs being seen around volcanoes. So maybe that's just me not hearing that. But I think that's Haley, Dave. That's Haley's phone.
Yeah, Haley, could you mute yourself?
Apparently not. So
She just got abducted.
There we go. So wasn't as bad as the clicking sound, Dave. So just wanted to point that out. But anyway, so I think that's why you see them at these certain places. I think it's definitely they're there just to make sure that we're not trying to go. Sorry. Best statement of the night, right there.
F you.
Yeah, so that's my answer. I actually just read it was interesting because I was listening to a show just before coming on here, and the guest who the people were talking to was talking about being at the Gilroy UFO Ranch a number of years ago, and how it had like some sort of like a volcano that it kept seeing lights above it. So it's interesting that would come up here tonight, and it's like the first time I've ever heard of like UFOs over volcanoes. So go figure. But I think that's probably as Scott was saying, and I think even Sam said it, like a fuel source for them, the energy of it. The reason that they were talking about this one at the Gilroy Ranch was that was it was like an entrance for them for their base that they were in it. Like I would assume that if they can survive space and they can survive our atmosphere, that probably molten lava really doesn't stop them all that much. So, who's to say that they, right down in it and, nobody's going to be following them. So, yeah, I just think that it's probably all for different reasons why we see them at certain places. What about you, Lauren? What do you think?
Honestly, I've gone back and forth because part of the reason I wanted to ask the question is because I feel like I haven't really made up my what.
I dropped my pen. I was just looking
Oh,
for it.
I thought you scoffed at me. I'm like, wait, what did I say?
No,
okay.
I dropped my pen.
No, okay. All right, sorry. Well, part of the reason that I wanted to ask this question is because I haven't quite decided if it is just more people are in that area, therefore more people see things. So it's not really they're attracted to the site. It's just they so happen to be seen more often near these sites. Or if they are truly being drawn to it for some reason, whether it be the energy source, whether it be they're trying to watch us or observe us or see what our capacities for possibly like, I don't know, creating galactic war at some point in the future. Who knows? So I honestly haven't made up my mind. That was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask Chuck next time I see him, because I feel like he would have a lot more like really detailed information, because he is, in my mind, the foremost expert on UFO anything. So yeah, right now I'm leaning more towards, oh, there's just more people there, therefore more people see them. It's not really they're being drawn by anything. But I could be convinced otherwise. So that's just something I've been pondering. That's why I posed the question to the group.
I think that the best way of looking at that is to see what is going on, like in the general vicinity. You know, if they are seen, like, let's just take New York City. I mean, if they're always seen around the Empire State Building and nowhere else, well, then they're probably attracted to the Empire State Building. But if they're seen at Freedom Tower and they're seen in Manhattan and they're seen in Long Island and they're seen all over that general vicinity, then yes, it's probably just that they're seen by people and there's nothing really particular about that area. But again, I mean, if you're in the middle of a desert or whatever, let's just take Area 51 for that matter. If they're always seen around Area 51 by whoever and nowhere else, I think we can probably ascertain and make the safe assumption that it's Area 51 that they're attracted to. So, I mean, I guess I would just, I'm with you on that point. I would just have to see what else is going on in that area. Perfect. Sam, Haley, you have a question real quick?
My topic cannot be answered in 2 minutes.
That's okay. We can go over.
No.
No. What about
I'm
you,
saying
Haley?
it's a big topic.
Oh, all right. We'll see. Depending on what it is, maybe we'll save it either for next week, because next week we have the great Susan Slaughter on with us. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be pretty sweet. By the way, Sam, before I forget, I did ask her about the Shakopee UFO, so you don't need to.
Oh, cool.
Haley, did you have a quick question? Or a question? You can. I'm going to take that as a no.
Yeah, I don't think that's intentional, but that's funny as shit.
That was perfect timing.
It really was. All right. Well, yeah, I guess let's finish up then with, oh, she's back. Whoa. That was a really big close-up of your head there, Haley. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, next week we will have
My shit is struggling.
Slaughter on.
No question.
Yeah, we can tell. We can tell you're
struggling. That's all right.
This is literally every Zoom class I ever had. There's one person that just has the shitty internet.
We I admire your effort, Haley. So I'm just gonna end this here then. So yeah. Next week, going to be another great episode. So come on at 8 p.m. again, where we will have Susan Slaughter on from Paranormal Caught on Camera and Ghost Hunters International, Ghost Hunters Academy, etc. That's going to be a good. It's going to be a good show and a good time. Good conversation. So, Everybody have yourselves a good night. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Want to see you back here next week. Everyone, have a great